Romans 12, starting at the 11th verse. Again, I ask, have they stumbled that they should fall beyond all recovery? By no means, but through their fall to provoke them to jealousy, salvation has come to the Gentiles. Now, if their fall means such riches for the Gentiles, think what an enrichment will follow their full reinstatement. But now I am speaking to you who are Gentiles, inasmuch then as I am an apostle to the Gentiles, I magnify my ministry. If by any means I may provoke those who are of my flesh to jealousy and save some of them. For if their being rejected is the reconciliation of the world, what will their acceptance be but life from the dead? Now, if the first handful of dough offered as the first fruits is holy, so is the whole mass. And if the root is holy, so are the branches. Now, if some of the branches were broken off, and you, through a wild olive shoot, have been drafted in among the others, and become a partaker of the root and the riches of the olive tree, do not boast against the branches. If you do, consider this: you do not support the root, but the root supports you. You might then say, branches were broken off that we might be drafted in. That is true, but they were broken off because of unbelief, and you stand through the faith. Do not be arrogant, but be relevant. For if Yahuwah did not spare the natural branches, he will certainly not spare you. Therefore, behold the righteousness and sovereignty of Yahuwah on those who fail. Sovereignty, but towards you, righteousness, if you continue in his righteousness. Otherwise, you will also be cut off. And if they do not persist in their unbelief, they will be drafted in. For Yahuwah is able to draft them in again. That's what we living for. That's what I'm driven for. When I say I want more, that's the more that I want right there. To be drafted back in. We are native to the olive tree. We are rooted in the olive tree. Those who ain't even rooted have been drafted in. And they've amassed much riches from being drafted in. And the Creator said that we would just let go of our unbelief, we too could be redrafted in. And I believe that process has already begun. We have been able to see the Most High deliver us from the evils of unbelief. Now we are not just saying we believe, we are saying we are knowing we shall receive. We are knowing we shall grow. We are knowing that the Creator knows us by our name. He the one that gave us our name. He was the one that gave us our purpose, our cause. So long as we are able to pause unbelief, long as we are able to pause doubt, long as we are able to pause fears and overcome to get clear to where the Creator wants us to be. I see it so defined in my mind. I want to see it manifest that all men can be blessed when we think about what's best for our mind, our body, and our soul. It's to allow the Most High to have control and let His will be done. And His will is that we be drafted back in again. We don't know exactly why we were cut off. We don't know exactly what unbelief became our chief belief of the time when we were cut off. And it's been many generations since we've been cut off. Many generations have experienced persecution. Many generations have been left to the side. But that don't mean that the Creator ain't able to provide you with the knowledge of getting back to Him. He showed you right there in those passages. Yes, I cut you off. Yes, others have been drafted in, but He told those others, don't get too arrogant about the fact that you've been drafted into a tree that you're not even native to. You don't even have the same roots. And those that do have those same roots, how easily will it be for them to be drafted back and redrafted in? Already had been. So that's why you still got the strength even though you're cut off. So what kind of strength and riches will come back to you when the Creator bring back to you the existence of being drafted into the olive tree to which you are native? And the olive tree that we are speaking of is our connection and network with the Most High. You've gotten cut off from your protections. You've gotten cut off from your aptitude. You've gotten cut off from your authority. Now, to get back to the authority that the Creator had, He's going to have to redraft us in. And what is going to get us redrafted in? Knowing Him, showing Him the reverence that He is the one who has the strength to strengthen us. He is the one that chose to dwell within us. And when He is within us, if we are in togetherness, just as He is in us, if we abide in Him, then He will allow us to be able to abide in our communities with unity. So this message here is a clear understanding that the Creator has already set course for us to be redrafted in. We just have to be ready for it. We just have to have our belief up. We just have to have our understanding and knowing that we had been cut off and others that are not native have been drafted back in. Understanding that ideology is first the concept that we must conceive. And He said that He wanted to bring you to jealousy. He did it so you would get jealous, looking across and thinking, why are they able to have and we have not? And once you figure it out, because you've been cut off and you can be drafted back in, that's the question we need to be asking the Most High. That's the most important thing that this life can offer us, knowing that we have been disconnected, and what do we have to do to be reconnected so we can be redirected to be beside and following the Most High. Hallelujah.